Hello and welcome to Shave&Butcher. I've decided I'm going to make a number of how-to videos covering just different aspects of traditional wet shaving. I've talked about some of these things in previous videos, but I am going to make a collective effort and collect all my experience and ideas in a series, if I manage to figure out how to put them in a series in YouTube, but that's another thing. So the first video is going to be on, and it's this one, on how to choose your gear, how to choose your razor, your brush and your soap, because these are the things you need to qualify your activity you're shaving as traditional. So razor first. Traditional razors can be either safety razors, which are, they look like this. This is one you can find in quite a few supermarkets. It's Gillette's King C. Nothing wrong with it, cheap and cheerful, even looks quite good. So this one divides up in different pieces and you insert a double-edged razor blade, safety blade for razors. Don't choose the stuff you cut carpets with. Traditional shaving requires proper edges on your razor blade. So that's one thing you can choose. You can also choose a straight razor. They look like this. So it's one edge, it's a knife made in one piece, and that's very traditional. There are variants of this. You can also have a straight razor like razor that has these double-edged safety razor blades in them. So you can open them up and you can change blades. Gives you the same kind of shave as you get with a straight razor, only you can swap the razor blade whenever it becomes dull. So which you choose is up to you. They vary in cost, although you can get away with not paying too much for any of these options. The shave is different. Shaving with a straight razor requires more training, more skill. It also requires more maintenance because you don't have a blade you can chuck in the bin and put in a new one, which is pretty much all you do with a safety razor, plus keep it clean, you know. But a straight razor requires, so a bit of love, a bit of more love. And what you choose and what you start with really is up to you. I started with a straight razor. A lot of people start with a safety razor and then go to a straight razor, and that's the majority of people in the hobby, or people shaving traditionally, they just stick with a double-edged safety razor or another variant of safety razors, because there's quite a few of them, all their life basically. So what you choose depends on your preference and your budget. If you want a straight razor style razor, should you use the traditional one or the one where you swap blades? Up to you. Similar kind of skills, less maintenance with the Chevette, as they're called, style razor than with a straight razor. Which, can you start with this one and then go to that? Certainly. These tend to be really sharp, so you need to be careful because the blades are always super sharp. With a straight, it varies. If you go for a traditional straight razor, what should you choose? Well, that really is a matter of preference. They differ in size, they differ in how the razor is curved, and you can go with pretty much anything. The most important thing is to make sure you get a decent one, and get one that is sharp, because unless you're exceptionally good at sharpening things to a fine detail, you're gonna need a bit of help. You can, down the line, choose to hone yourself, sharpen yourself, or not. Just send it off to someone who can do the job for you, which is what I've been doing for years. In terms of what style and what size of razor you should choose, I really don't want to give advice, because you'll find out what you like. Perhaps something like this. This is a hollow razor, so it has a very thin edge. That's quite attractive. Most people prefer that to a more wedge-shaped razor. So that could be a starting point. Size-wise, up to you. They're usually measured in eighths of an inch. This one is, what is this? This is probably five or 6 eighths of an inch. It's a pretty good size to start with, 5 to 6 eighths of an inch. And when you buy one, you can buy them new, you can buy them vintage or secondhand. I would definitely get my first razor from someone who has also sharpened it, honed it, and that you can trust. Because if you can buy them new and they say, vendors say they're shave ready, sometimes they are, most of the time they're not. But if you get it from someone who's got experience in honing, then you're going to get something good to start with. Then you can fall down the rabbit hole and buy all kinds of things like a lot of us do. I would find someone in a Facebook group or on the internet, in a community. These exist in most countries around the world, I've discovered. So Facebook or some other medium, traditional wet shaving, ask a question: is there anyone who's got a razor for sale for a beginner? I want it honed properly. And then you'll find someone who others recommend, and you're good to go. And then you don't have to spend a fortune either. One of these 5/8 full hollow, if it's nothing fancy with gold and stuff on it, you can get them for 50 to 80 euros or dollars approximately, which is a pretty good start. Because if you get tired of them, you can sell it for the same amount of money in the same Facebook group. So that's what I would do as a starting point. Even if you don't hone or sharpen your razor yourself, you will need a strop, because in between every shave you need to strop the razor to bring it back to the keenness of the edge that it had before you shaved. There are different kinds of strops. The most common are hanging strops, so you hang them on a hook somewhere, and I'll make a video about stropping, but basically you need a piece of leather. You can probably make it yourself if you Google a bit on how to make it, but perhaps buy your first one. You can buy it secondhand. This was secondhand. Same Facebook groups as where you bought the razor. There are different sizes of strops. This one is 3 inches wide. This one is maybe 2. Both work. It is a little bit easier, especially in the beginning, to use a wider strop, because you don't have to move the razor around too much. You can put the razor on this. It pretty much covers the entire blade. So it's a bit easier. These can be pricey. Don't spend a fortune. But the bigger they are, the more expensive they are. But as a beginner, I would choose a wide one. So 3 inches is pretty good. There are also paddle strops. They're less common. They do the same thing. The technique is a about the same. This one is horizontal and you strop like this. You don't have to hang it on a hook. These work just fine. Again, 3 inches is a good size. Don't choose one that's too narrow. When you know how to strop and you do it without thinking, a narrow one is easier, but these are the options, the main options for a strop. So I've made notes. Yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to razors. Ask me questions and I'll reply. Ask questions in the Facebook groups. That's even better because then you get a lot of people's opinion. So that's the razor. So you have your razor, regardless of which razor you have, you're gonna need item 2 and 3 no matter what, and that's the brush and the soap. Because traditional wet shaving includes building a lather, it does not include buying a foam or a gel which you just put on your face. You can do that, I sometimes do it, but it's not really traditional. So traditionally you need to make the lather with a brush. You can build the lather in different ways. I'll make a video on that as well, but you need a brush to start. So you can either choose a brush, and this is what they look like, with synthetic, with the synthetic knot, so synthetic hairs in it, or you can choose a natural hairbrush. Natural hairbrushes come with badger hairs, with boar hairs, which are pigs. Usually this one is pig, or horsehair. Those are the only ones I come across. Horsehair brushes are unusual. They're softer, which means when you whip your face or a bowl with it, they collapse. The hairs collapse a bit easier. I like these, but as a starting brush, maybe not. Badgers are typically more expensive. They're a little bit posh. Boar or pig hair, some people like, some don't. They require a bit of breaking in when you get them, but they're cheaper. So what you choose, up to you. Perhaps start with a synthetic brush, and a lot of people use only synthetic brushes. These brushes do exactly the same thing, so it really doesn't matter which one you choose. But these synthetic ones are typically quite cheap. There are websites to buy them new online in most countries, and you can also buy secondhand. Just clean it up with a bit of shampoo and you're good to go. So secondhand usually is a good option. You can choose different sizes in terms of how tall the brush is, how wide it is at the bottom of the knot, what shape they're at. They all do the same thing, so really it's up to you. The handles can be made out of resin or plastic. You can also have a wooden handle. Again, it's up to you. This one's quite nice. This is wood. I kind of like it. But in terms of performance, doesn't matter. So that's your brush. You're going to need a soap as well. So soap for traditional shaving, no ready-made foam, no gel, because you can't build a lather with these, and that's a big part of traditional shaving. So you can get a cream, which is fine. It's a little bit less traditional perhaps. You can buy creams at the supermarket most of the time, or you can buy fancy posh ones from London or someplace like that. This is Swedish. Works just fine, nothing wrong with that. Or you can choose a hard soap, and a hard soap, they can look something like this. This is Tabak, which is German. I find this at my supermarket, so that's a pretty common one. Traditional, some people like it, some people don't. in terms of performance and how you can build a lather. Yeah, same thing, basically. There are differences, and everyone who's a hobbyist has preferences, but you know, really is up to you. You can also choose a shave stick. They do the same thing. With a shave stick, you kind of need to rub it on your face, rub it in your beard growth, and that's how you load the soap. Whereas another kind of soap, like the cream or the soap in a bowl, you build the lather in, you load the brush first, and then you build the lather in different ways. And again, it's another video. You can go to the artisanal market. There's a wide variety of artisanal soaps, usually super high quality, beautiful graphics, and typically you can match your aftershave as well. You really don't have to, you don't even have to use an aftershave, although it is quite traditional. And you get these nice things you can put on display in your house. In terms of what it does for you, for your shave, all of these examples that I've shown are equally good. There are vegan soaps. If you're vegan or want to shave in a vegan way, then you might not want to choose a natural hairbrush, but you can go synthetic. Or soaps that are made from animal fat. You need some kind of fat to make a soap. Beef fat is the traditional, but you have duck fat, you have bear fat, you have all kinds of stuff. It really is up to you. The scent of the soap and the aftershaves is typically important to a lot of traditional wet shavers. I'm not going to give you advice on scents, that really is up to you. But that can be, having a nice scent or a particular scent can raise the experience quite a bit. Okay, I'll check my notes to see if I forgot something. Soaps, by the way, you can buy secondhand as well. Just clean them up, and that's a cheap way to try a lot of different soaps. But you can obviously buy them new as well. I think that's it. I mean, if you get a razor, if you get a brush, and you get a soap, you can start traditional wet shaving, and you can start making what is for a lot of men and women, I guess, a chore, something you don't look forward to being something fantastic that you plan, you know, during the day. What should I use today? What can I learn today? And it's just a fun way to look prettier in the area that you're shaving. I think I'll end it there. Again, ask me questions or put comments in the comment section. Happy to discuss, happy to come with more advice, happy to defend my position, although I try not to have as too many, because really a lot of it is up to your preference. But it's fun. Traditional wet shaving is fun, so why don't you jump on the wagon to heaven, the heaven that is traditional wet shaving. Thanks for watching. Next video is going to be how to build a lather. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp.